everyone. My name is Dr. Dorothy Grill, and I'm super excited to be presenting on servant leadership and coaching. I am currently the Workforce Initiative Coordinator at the Agency for Community Empowerment of Northeastern Pennsylvania, based in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And also, I'm an adjunct business instructor at Lackawanna College. So I want to start off by defining what servant leadership is and what coaching is. So servant leadership is a leadership style where you put others above yourself. So you are not the focus as the leader, but the rest of the team is. Coaching is very similar because it's a relationship between the two individuals or an individual and their team that they are able to work together to achieve a common goal. So both are actually very similar because they're both about creating relationships with your team and being able to work within that team environment. So these strategies can be used whether you're looking to start as a leader or you're just getting into the leadership journey, and it can be used in both your professional and personal careers. So there are 7 points that I want to bring up that relate to both servant leadership and coaching. So first off, it's important with both of them to honor others. So as young professionals, you hear a lot of times the importance about diversity and being inclusive with your teams. That simply does not mean just checking a box. It means paying attention to your team members, whether it be in that professional or personal area, and working with their strengths, but also being there to support where they might need some guidance themselves. Right along with that is point 2, where we talk about inspiring vision. So as future leaders or as leaders that are just starting out, you want to inspire the vision of what you see and what the agency or company or nonprofit or volunteer place is looking for their vision. So that married vision between what you want for your area that you're overseeing and then what the company wants as well. And you have to use that vision to inspire the others to see that vision and buy into it. Because without that buy-in, you can be a servant leader, you can be a coach, you're not going to get others to come along with you. It's also very important to not forget about the ethics, so making the right choice for the most people. Sometimes you're not going to please everyone as leaders. That's okay. It's about choosing what is best for the team or what is best for the organization that's going to have that guiding impact. Also, a very important thing is to empower others. So as you're coaching your employees, as you're coaching team members, as you're coaching individuals to move on to the next phase or to grow as individuals, it's very important to empower them by not doing what they should do for themselves, but giving them tools to get to that next level. Also, you want to privilege the people that you deal with. So that does not mean having a yes mentality to everything that you're going to be asked, but it means that you give them the privilege to have their voice heard. Anytime you're working with humans, it's important to realize that you need to be mindful that everyone's going to come to that table with their own wants, their own needs, their own focus, especially if you're working in an agency like myself, where it is multi-projects going on out of one office. So with that, you want to make sure you're hearing their voices, you're understanding what they're asking, and you're giving them the ability to have that empowerment to make choices that they can make. Number 6, you want to balance your focus with flexibility. So going back to that idea of having that vision for where you want your position to go, where you want the company to go, where you want the programs to go that you're under. You want to make sure that you are balancing that focus that you have to have with flexibility. You are going to have things come up, whether it's work related, whether it's something that's going on with a team member. you're going to have points where you have to step back and be flexible. It would be nice if life worked out perfectly how we envision our perfect day every day. That's not the reality. Easily, you could wake up late one day. Easily, you could have a team member suddenly wake up sick. You have to have that flexibility built in, that you have the ability to continue on with that day and realize that maybe that was a bad day, but that's not the norm for where you're leading. So that goes back to empowering others as well, because if you empower others by cross training your team members, you won't have to take on so much as the leader of the office or the organization or the group. You'll be able to kind of delegate or assign those tasks to other individuals that are already trained and ready to assist you if need be, if they have the availability to do so. Finally, and what I think is probably one of the most important things with coaching and servant leadership, is serving with humility. So when you're doing this, you're not going out each day to be the leader, to have your name in the paper, to have the focus on you. It is always, you want that focus pushed back on what you're trying to achieve, what issue in the community you're trying to face. A perfect example, if you follow local media, you've probably seen our agency in the local media a lot for our new Rise and Ride program. All of us that were leaders that talked to the press, did interviews, talked to the newspaper, whatever the case was, had to step back and not make sure we were not making that limelight about ourselves, but about what we were doing for the greater good in the community. So if you adopt both strategies of coaching and servant leadership, you're going to learn how to solve some issues that the community is facing, because you're creating a passionate team and individuals that want to follow suit. So it's nice that when you first get in that leadership position, yes, you want to be in there as long as possible. Yes, you want to do a good job, but you also have to keep the mindset that you're not going to be there forever. Just because you were the one that was chosen for that leadership position does not mean you are the end all of that team, that organization, that project, whatever it is that you're leading. Something can happen in your own personal life that makes you have to take a step back and assign some things that you might be doing or trying to do as a new leader to your team members. So again, that part of trusting your team and having that passionate team or individuals who are trained and ready to help you at any given moment is really, really important. When you're coaching, you want to keep that servant mind leadership in the back of your mind, because you want to make sure you're hitting the growth model with your individuals that you're coaching. So again, that means honoring them as individuals, knowing their strengths and weaknesses, but also making sure you're not doing nothing that's going to make them uncomfortable or go against the vision, but you're also empowering them ultimately to take on that new role, that new project at the agency. I'll use an example for myself. One of our staff members who have been with the organization for 6 years recently joined our department and had a change in job focus, if you will. One of the quick things I realized with the former job, when we sat down to talk about what she was expecting out of this new position, was that she was extremely gifted with working with Excel sheets and being able to create files and do our income guidelines. So that's where I put her initially to make her successful. Was somewhere that she was already comfortable doing it for other programs. I showed her the little bit of change in how we did things in our office versus the other program that she came over from. And now it's nice to see her stepping up to the plate to take on additional roles without me asking her. So if we get a client that applies for that program and they don't submit their documents, she has no problem getting on her email and checking in with that client and saying, hey, this is what we need. Through coaching her, through empowering her to be able to take on the role that she did, that allowed her to take on this additional role. So my last piece of advice is the famous leadership thing of learning to be on the balcony as much as the dance floor. So in leadership, we talk about being on the balcony so you could see that higher picture of the vision, the horizon, and then being on the dance floor with whoever you are trying to lead so you understand the day-to-days of what it is you're trying to lead. So, perfect example here would be in my work with the Junior League of Scranton, I am a leader there as well. And with that, I have to know as the leader for the two committees that I'm on what we're doing day to day, what the month to month looks like. But I also have to know what the viewpoint of the ultimate goal of the Junior League of Scranton for having that committee is. So that's that fine walk of being on that balcony to understand the vision or the view that the corporation has versus being on the dance floor with my committee members to understand what it is we have to do to achieve that vision. So, as a leader, it's important to have a voice and bring your voice to the table. But most importantly, your actions with the leadership and coaching will show the biggest impact. You have to have heart, you have to have passion for what you do, but also you have to be able to be a people person that you understand your individuals and you're able to empower them to serve others. That is how you're going to become a leader that is a change maker, but also more importantly, that is how you learn to lead in the ever changing society that we're in now, where you are going to have the big impact in your community. Thank you so much for your time and for attending my session. I'll take questions now.